Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Courtney and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to do your eyebrows. So I have found the perfect product, the one go-to product for my eyebrows lately, and I am absolutely in love with it. I use the NYX Micro Brow Pencil, and this is in the color Espresso. This is a color that works best for me and my eyebrows right now because I do like a darker brow, but sometimes I like to go on a little bit of ashier side with my brows. It just depends on how I feel and what color makeup I'm wearing, but I figured this works the best and is my one go-to product rather than using 5 different products on my eyebrows like the brow powder, the pomades. I rather just use this, and it has the spoolie on one end and the pencil on the other, which makes things a lot easier, so that way when I'm on the go I can just throw this in my makeup bag and be done with it. And to clean up my eyebrows, I use the LA Girl Pro Conceal, and this is in the color Toffee. I usually use a concealer to clean up around my eyebrows once I fill in my eyebrows, and I like to use a shade that is at least 2 shades lighter or 1 shade lighter than my skin tone. So if you are interested in seeing my eyebrow tutorial, please stay tuned. By the way, I have my nose pierced, but I never wear the ring, but I've had my nose pierced since I was 16. Fun fact. Okay, so I'm going to start off by brushing through my eyebrow. I haven't plucked my eyebrows in a few days. Actually, it's been like a week. So I'm going to start off by brushing through my eyebrow. My eyebrows, as you can see, are fairly sparse, so I want to try to get them in the direction that I want to first, and then I'm going to fill in my brows. So next I'm going to use the pencil side of my brow pencil, and I'm going to make lines where I'm going to shape my brow. So how I do this is pretty simple. I am wanting to shape my eyebrow in pretty much the direction it is already going, that's flattering to my face. So to start shaping your eyebrow, what you want to do is really simple. So basically you are following the bottom lash line upwards. To do that, you just angle your pencil, angle it with your bottom lash line, and then you're going to slide your pencil down and make a light dot where it meets the tail end of your brow. So that's where your brow is going to end. And this is pretty close to my liner only because I extended my liner, but it doesn't have to be that far out if you don't want it. This is just what helps frame your face a little bit better. So now I'm going to show you where to put the arch. To find out where your arch works for your face, you want to take your pencil, and at the end of your nose you want to go across your iris of your eye. So you see where across from my iris my arch meets? That's exactly where I want my arch to be. So right here is where I'm gonna have my arch. And you can clean up any marks and mistakes that you make with the concealer. It's very easy. And the last mark you want is right at the end of your nose. You want to point your pencil upward and then make a line right where it meets the end of your brow. That's typically where your brow wants to meet. Sometimes people make it a little bit further in to where the corner of their eye meets. It's really all about your preference and what works for you. I'm actually going to be putting it a little closer in just because the shadow of my contour is a little bit further in, and I want the shadow of my contour to meet up with the end of the brow. So I'm actually going to put it a little bit further in to where the corner of my eye meets, but you can do either or. So to fill in the brow, what I do is I fill in the bottom first. I meet about halfway in from the front of my brow to where the arch begins. So I start right here and then I begin to fill in the bottom portion of my brow. And then since this area is so sparse and I like my brow a little bit thicker, I go in a little bit further, and this is where you begin to shape your brow. So if you want to have that nice high arch, just continue on. For me, I typically just go along the edge of where my brow already is for that more natural look. So next I just follow the bottom part of my brow and I just fill that in, and I'm being quite light-handed with my strokes. Okay, now I'm going to meet the end of this part, not the actual dot, because that dot is way too low, just right above it where it meets. That's where I'm going to end my brow. Next I'm going to just fill in the rest of my brow in the sparse areas, and again I'm using light stroke motion. You want it to almost mimic hair, So it's okay if there's a few sparse areas, but you don't want too many. But you don't want it to fill in too much, or else it could look a little bit harsh on the face, especially if it's a darker color. So I'm gradually working my way up, and as you get the hang of this, the faster you get. So next I'm filling in those sparse areas a little bit. If your brush is a little bit on the dry side and then it starts to kind of flake a little bit, which is pretty normal for these crayon brushes, just roll it all the way up to avoid any plastic, and just take a lighter and then just quickly spark around it to kind of help smooth the texture of the crayon. So where my arch is, I'm going to create a bit of a line there because I like a little bit more of an arch, and then I'm going to thin out the end of it. I haven't gone into the front part of my brow yet. You'll see when I do that, but first I'm going to brush through my brow. I'm just gonna wipe away that dot that I made earlier. And this is really easy to clean up, so don't worry about, you can use your fingers if you need to, and it doesn't mess up the rest of your makeup. So next, for the front of my brow, I'm going to shape the bottom part first. And I have the lines there and where I'm going to meet that line at the bottom. And I'm using a very, very, very light hand for this. And then I'm just going to take my spoolie. Make sure your spoolie is clean, by the way, because you don't want any extra product in there. And then from that bottom line, I'm going to make quick brush stroke motions, kind of create that ombre effect, so it gives it more of a natural beginning to the brow. And if it gets a little bit messy on the bottom, don't worry, we're going to clean that up. And if you want it a little bit darker, more defined at the bottom, just go back with your pencil. And again, brush strokes up. Now, to clean up the whole brow, I'm going to go through with my spoolie one more time. And this extra step is optional. Take mascara if you like to really define the hairs. I'm gonna do that this time for demonstration purposes so you guys can see the difference in that as well. So for my mascara, aka my brow gel at the moment, I'm going to be using Telescopic Carbon Black Mascara from L'Oreal. So next I'm just gonna go through the eyebrow with a very, very, very light hand, and I'm going to stroke through the hairs of the brows. And this will create some more dimension to your eyebrow. If you happen to get too much mascara on one part, like I did at the end here, do not worry, you can take your spoolie and just brush through that part. So next I'm going to clean up my brows with my LA Girl Pro Concealer, and then I'm going to start on the end of my brow, and I'm going to clean up the edges like so. Next, I'm going to bring it in more towards the front of the brow with a very, very, very light hand. And I'm going to use any excess concealer and then clean up the top of my brow as well. This is where you can really shape up your brow in the way you want to if you do happen to make some mistakes along the way. I'm also going to clean up the front just a little bit, very, very, very lightly, because I don't want it to be too harsh and look too unnatural. Next, I'm going to take a clean flat brush and just clean up the edges so that way we can kind of diminish that halo effect. And here is my new eyebrow. Pretty natural looking and not overdone. So here is my eyebrow before, and here is my new eyebrow. So I am going to do my other eyebrow off camera so you guys can see the results. Okay guys, that concludes my video. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you'd like to see more videos, just click on my subscribe button. And I appreciate you guys, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Bye!